my gosh, you guys, I am so excited. So, tonight is an author spotlight. So, if you don't know what that is, it's basically when we bring on three authors from the Facebook group, Urban and Romance Fantasy, Paranormal Romance Book Lovers. Say that 10 times fast. I always say that. It's like my inside joke with myself. Okay. Anyways, so we bring on three authors that they want to come on and talk a little bit about themselves and their books, and it just kind of gives them that spotlight to highlight who they are and what they write and why they started writing and all that kind of thing. So tonight we have Victoria Clapton, J.P. Jackson, and Marcelle Valentine. And so each of them are going to talk for, I don't know, 5 or 7 minutes, and then we're all going to come on and maybe talk some more. I don't know, just have a good time. So anyone who wants to, hang out with us. We will have comments going on. So, okay, so someone just waved, a Facebook user. Hi. So there's instructions on the post in the group. And oh, my hair looks fabulous. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Anyways, I work from home, so it's like I get excited when I get to dress up. Anyways, so there's instructions on how to sign up so we can see who you are. Okay, so right now, whoever told me my hair is amazing, which is amazing, I don't know who you are because I just see Facebook user. So if you sign up like the way it says on the post, then I can see who you are. If not, then, when you write your comment, just tell me who you are. That'd be great. And so we'll try to answer the comments too. Probably during the panel, we will too as well. So anyways, I'm super excited. If any of the moderators are watching, could you pin this to the announcements and in both groups? So that's Authors Corner and the original group, the main group, Urban Romance Fantasy. I'm not gonna say it again because if you could pin that for me so that way people can see it, that would be great. So, oh, hey, Marie, yay. Okay, guys, I'm so excited. All right, so we're first bringing in Victoria, and let me tell you something. I just talked with her before this started. She has the cutest Tennessee accent. You guys are gonna love it. And but she's got a delay though. So I can see her laughing at me. She's like, "Oh my gosh, you're embarrassing me, girl." There's a delay. So we're gonna have to take it a little bit slow with her because of her internet connection. She's in a rural area. I can't say it how she says it. She'll say it for us. So okay, thanks. All right. Hey, Holly. Hey, girl. Hey, Kat. Yay! I'm so excited. Okay, Victoria, you're up, girl. I'm bringing you in. Hi. All right. Let's hear the accent.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, go ahead.
I just was saying thank you for having me.
There we go. Yeah, we have to kind of, and let me know too, guys, if it's a delay for you because it's a delay for me between her and I talking. And I think, like I said, it's just the internet connection, and it just, it is what it is, right? We just got to work with it. So. Okay, Victoria. So tell us a little bit about yourself. We know you're from Tennessee, what you write, all that jazz. We're dying to know.
Sure. Okay. So I'm Victoria. I'm from Tennessee, of course. I write in many, many genres, but almost every book I write falls under the umbrella for this group. They're always fantasy. There's always romance. Sometimes it's urban, sometimes it's ghosty, sometimes it's just paranormal. So far, I have 15 books out.
That's a lot of books.
It's a lot of books. It's a lot of books, and I have several short stories that are out and such. But yeah, and there's 2 series that I think really would interest this group. Of course, the Binding, you and I have talked about that a little bit, and then my trilogy, Subaru's End, also.
Yeah. So the Binding, I read a little bit of it today, and it's in New Orleans, you guys. It takes place in New Orleans, and you said several of your books do that too. I guess you love New Orleans, right? I'm assuming if you write about it. But I just thought that's such cool timing because wasn't it yesterday Mardi Gras in New Orleans? I think so.
Yeah. Yes, yesterday was Mardi Gras. Lots of good food, lots of partying, a couple hurricanes.
Yeah. So, so the Binding, tell us a little bit about that series because that looked to me like it was a pretty popular series of yours out of the 15 books. Geez, that's a lot.
It's definitely my most popular. Of course, it takes place in New Orleans. It's my love letter to New Orleans. And the backstory is I wrote book 1 on a gallery out in the Irish Channel, which is in New Orleans, a neighborhood in New Orleans. One night, just because I love Anne Rice, that it came from a love for Anne Rice, and I just started writing. And then I shared it with my friends and said, I'm never going to do anything with this. It's been done. Does anybody want to read about vampires and witches and ghosts and fairies? And thankfully, I have very good friends. They're like, no, you're definitely going to release this and give this to the world. And so after a great debate, I did. And it turned into 6 books.
That's awesome. Is it completed or are you still writing?
It is completed. The final book, here's the final book, Colleen Unbound. It just came out about a month or so ago. I'm not sure if you can see it right there.
Yeah, it's a little,
but the final book came out just a few months ago. So it is completed. It's all out there. And the audio is also almost completed. There's 1 or 2 books that are being worked on right now, but the entire audio will be finished soon too.
Cool. Awesome. So when I started reading the binding, I like to try to read a little bit of the books of the authors that come on. It's tough though, right? There's so much stuff going on. So I haven't had a chance to read like the whole book for all 3 authors, which I wish that I could. But when I started reading the binding today, I thought it was really cool that the queen, what's the queen's name? The queen vampire name, and at the very first prologue, she shows up.
Oh, Sabella Rose. Yeah, Sabella.
Okay. Yeah, she seems like she's like a good vampire. Like it seemed like it was taking, I don't know if it gets darker in other spots or not, but it seems like it's like a good vampire queen trying to do the right thing for like humanity and the city. I don't know. That's just kind of the vibe I got off the, yeah.
There's an overall theme with all the characters, the main characters. There is an overall theme of, even though they are these creatures, they do bad things, they are vampires and such, but they are trying to protect New Orleans and make it a better city.
Okay.
So it's kind of, like I said, it was my love story to New Orleans.
That's awesome. How about the romance? We all want to know about the romance in this group.
Okay, so the romance, the first 3 books are, of course, Sabella and Demian. So it's the same couple for the first 3. The steam is kind of low. I know everybody wants to know it, but it builds. And throughout the books, the different characters, it's even more throughout. So the first 3 books are the same couple, and then the final 3 books are couples you meet in the first 3 books. It's one overall story, but it continues with 3 different couples because you kind of need to know what they're doing for the end game.
Did you always plan it that way, that you were going to have spinoffs, or did it just kind of come organically?
I did book 1, and then people just kept asking me to write more. And that continued on all the way through book 6. As I'm still getting requests for characters I haven't written about to write about them too. So I might. I have a pretty popular couple, Oliver and Ambrose, that I have not written anything for yet, and I get asked a lot to write a story for them. So I might, but this story is complete. The main overall enemy and such, that has been complete. So it's going to have to be its own new thing if I write any more in that world.
Yeah, that's cool. There's people talking there saying that they think it's a cool backstory and they appreciate a slow burn. I love a slow burn. That's fine. All right. So are you fade to black then, or are you more like YA with your steam? Do you have steam? It's okay if you don't.
So at the beginning.
Sorry, my puppy. Hold on 1 second. My poor
at
guy.
the beginning.
He just got neutered yesterday. The poor guy. Here's my puppy. There he is. That's Bear. Sorry. Okay, go ahead. I didn't mean to have him steal your spotlight there for a second. We'll give you a little more time.
No. So the steam is not fade to black. It's definitely not YA. I don't have that in me. I wished I did. It's not fade to black, but it's not entirely super graphic. But fair warning for those who don't want that, it gets steamier throughout. Book 1 sort of was a little more low key. From there on out, it gets crazy. Not like my other series. My other series comes with trigger warnings.
Okay,
The binding
no, that's
has
good
no
to
trigger
know.
warning, but it does get much more steamier throughout the series.
Awesome. Now, have you put your books in the book repository for the group?
I did. I put the binding in, and I put Lurid Lantern in, which are the first two books in those two series. So
Okay.
I put those in, and I figured once everybody found that, they could find the others.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so we're just going to wrap up, and then we're going to bring on JP. But before we wrap up, how can people find you? Like your social media?
You can find me on everything on social media is under Victoria Clapton or Victoria Clapton author. It's straight across the board. You can find me, but I can attach the link in the comments.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, please do. Go ahead in the comments and attach that. And Kat Gifford just said that she read Lurid Lantern and it was so good. That's pretty cool. Oh, so you have a fan.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's so cool. Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for coming on. Stick around because we're going to bring it back on at the end. Sound good?
Sounds perfect. Thank you.
All right. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, guys. That's so funny. So I just have to say, like, in that, like, the poor guy, right? Like, poor guy. He's just like, sorry. So sorry about my dog, but if you all know me, which I think a lot of you do, I'm a huge dog lover. So, okay, we're gonna bring in GP now. JP, sorry, not GP. JP, JP Jackson. Okay. Hi.
Hi. You can talk about your dog all you want.
Thank you for being here. I'm so excited that you're on. And
Thank you for having me.
And I'm excited because we don't have a lot of male authors in the group. So like I was like, we need more male authors. So I was just like so excited that you wanted to come on. I'm like, oh, it's a boy. Sorry, I'm here all night. Okay. All right. JP, tell us about you, where you're from, what you write, you know, the spiel.
Sure. My name is JP Jackson. I am living in Canada. I'm in a very, very cold city right now of Edmonton, Alberta. So part of the prairies, about 4 hours away from the Rocky Mountains. It is currently minus 28 Celsius here. It is very cold.
That? In Fahrenheit, minus 28.
Cold.
Right?
It's very cold. So yeah, we'd like to huddle all winter and write books.
I'm going to Toronto. I think I said this to you earlier in a couple weeks.
Yeah, well, and it depends. Sometimes Toronto is just as cold, but it's way further south than us. So hopefully
you know I'm in Florida. I don't handle the cold.
Yeah, you might want to bring a really thick parka.
Okay. All right. So I did have a chance to look at a couple of your books today. Like I looked at a little bit of The Summoned, and then I looked a little. Yeah, that's like a big seller for you, right? That's your big. Yeah. So tell us about that one a little bit.
Sure. Okay. So quick backstory. I write dark LGBTQ urban fantasy. Yeah, and anything that I write is always got some kind of queer characters as the main character.
Okay.
I'm gay, growing up in the 80s and slowly coming to realization about who I was. I didn't have any books that had people like me in them, or if they did, it wasn't a really good representation. So and I used to read everything, Anne Rice, Stephen King, and then I flipped over to fantasy for a while. So it was Piers Anthony and Stephen R. Donaldson, and then kind of between the two of them, that urban fantasy kind of started. So Patricia Briggs, Charlaine Harris, all that stuff. But I wasn't finding any really good books that had good queer representation. So that's why I started writing books, to make sure that stuff that I wanted to read, that's, you know, within all the stuff that we like so much, had good queer representation. So Summoned is about awesome. My witch boys, and it's about a coven of men who are the guardians for Edmonton. they keep Edmonton safe from the more distasteful aspects of the Shadow Realm, which is the hidden magical world. And
Okay.
yeah, things just kind of go sideways, as things with magic tend to do.
Yeah, that's cool. So are all of your couples, are they always MM, or do you ever do FF, or do you is it
Typically MM. I have a short story that would be gender fluid M. I have one short story that's FF, but I get a little uncomfortable writing in that realm
sure,
because
yeah.
I don't know anything about it.
No, no, I just I had to ask. I had to ask. But
Absolutely.
I get it. That makes sense. That makes
Yep.
sense. That makes sense. Have you ever thought about writing an RH?
Well, funny you should ask that because
Well, what do you call it if it's the other way? Like a reverse harem is supposed to be the female and the men. So what do you call it if it's the men and the female? Just a harem, or
that would just be a harem, but it
yeah?
wouldn't do it with a man and a harem of women. So
So
it's
you do
funny
a
you should
man and a
ask
harem.
that. I would do a guy with his stable of boys. But
Yeah.
actually, funny you should mention that because I have a short story that's dropping later this month for like 99 cents. That's the beginning of quick little short stories about a gay brothel that's kind of failing really badly, and one of the boys that works there, they're all men but I call them boys, um, is a witch, and he invites an incubus to come save them all.
Okay, so this begs the question, right? So like you write Steam?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we
Okay.
don't. Yeah, there's a couple of my books
Is
that
it
don't have any, but
okay, yeah. So like pretty so kind of graphic Steam?
oh yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Like I was saying earlier with Victoria, we do have a lot of members that aren't really into like Steam, but we do also have, as you can tell from our posts, we have a lot of members that are really into the Steam. So, and a lot of the members that are into MM.
Yeah.
I see requests for that all the time. Can I get a book with MMM in it? So,
Oh,
sorry, MM,
MMM?
but
MMM.
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 It's the triple M.
So this starts out MM, and then it kind of goes to MMM. And for those in the room who like some monsters involved too, there's another couple in this set of books that is werewolf and fae.
Oh.
And the fae is very inhuman fae.
Okay. Very
So
cool.
yeah, so if you like a little monster love.
So I also noticed too that this series starts off, at least what I read, in the third person.
Yeah.
But the other book that I started reading today, and I cannot remember the name, but you'll know because you wrote it. No, it wasn't that one. It was is it Satyr? Satyr? How do you say it? The
Satyr?
yeah, with the
Demonian?
master. Yes, the apocalyptic, and that's first person.
Yes.
And it seemed to me that your writing style was different between the two, but both good, like very different.
First book? Most recent.
Oh, but I wouldn't say that the first one is bad by any means. I actually thought it was quite beautifully written.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I liked it. So, but that was kind of an interesting concept because he's so what got me, the reason why I picked it up, it was the first one I actually started reading of yours, is because of the whole master servant thing. I don't know why, like it's like drama for me. So, I love drama in books.
Very, I would say a relationship arc that's building. I'm still working on book 2 for this one. But
okay.
No, I would say no spice.
Okay.
The end of the world is happening, and they're all turning into demons and dying, and it's not a lot of time for sexy fun times.
Okay, that makes sense, but that's cool because it's a very you've got a range, right? A range of different things. So anyways, okay. So how can people get a hold of you?
I'll put my link tree in the comments, but
Okay.
like Like Victoria, I'm everywhere. Facebook. We have a really active Facebook author group called the Demon Horde. Come on down. Everybody's really friendly. We have lots of fun in that group. But I'm on Twitter. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. Instagram and Facebook are two of my more what I use most. And I mean, after this, you guys would convince me maybe TikTok I should do more.
Yeah, I always push that. TikTok is huge for authors. It really is. I've seen authors do so well. You know, like well, I'll save it for the panel. I'll save it for when
Sure.
we're on. We can talk about it then. Okay, so one last question. Sorry, I know we're probably running a little bit over with you. You just showed the book. You thought that I read it, but I didn't read it. That cover's gorgeous.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Real quick, like speed round. What's that about?
Speed round, gay supernatural. So, but from the demon's perspective. So this is a contract demon who ends up with a boyfriend who he discovers is an angel, but the boyfriend doesn't know.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. All right. Okay, JP, you've been great. Thank you so much. I'll see you here in a minute. All right.
Okay.
We're gonna bring on Marcelle Valentine. Okay. By the way, that's such a cool name, Marcelle Valentine. I just love it. Okay. All right, Marcelle.
Hi.
I feel
Hello.
like I'm like, hello.
Hello.
Hi. It's so nice to finally see you on here. I'm so excited because Marcelle and I have gotten to know each other on TikTok.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. And she started following me on my Light Show Becca profile for, my light shows. And she was like, commenting a lot, like you genuinely like the light shows.
Yes.
And we got to know each other. I'm like this. And finally I was on a live video and she was commenting on a live video. And I'm like, girl, you got to send me your book. I got to know who you are. And then, she's in the group. She's been in the group and I didn't even realize. So it was actually through TikTok. Yes. Not the Facebook group, because you've been in the Facebook group since you said October 2022?
October 2021. Yeah. So it was not. Yeah. So
like since it was a couple thousand members
or
something?
Yeah, something like that. There was like 1,500, couple thousand members when I joined the group. And then, it's just kind of grown from there and blown up. So.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you too, because it meant so much to me. I went through, we're going to turn this around to be about you in a second, but I went through so much with the whole Light Show Becca being hijacked. It was a very hard time for me in my life, and it just meant a lot to me, the people who supported me through that. And so I just want to thank you for that, because you did. You brought smiles to my face, so I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so let's hear about you and your books. And you have a very, very hot cover on your.
I do. Yeah. So I actually have out. There's 3 different series running right now. So I have one that's completed, and it falls within the paranormal romance genre. It is an insta love, basically, and it's about a girl whose family is all dead, and she ends up going to a town, like she's running from a demon that killed her brother and her father. She ends up in a town and she meets a guy named Logan, and Logan is anything but normal. Like, he is definitely not a human, and he offers to basically protect her, and the story kind of evolves from there. So all 5 books, it's a 5-book series, follow Kenna and Logan through their journey. And in book 1, it's all told from Kenna's perspective. You don't get anything from Logan's perspective at all. So it's all Kenna's perspective. And by the time you're done with book 1, you're like, okay, I'm like thoroughly confused. Like, this girl is clueless and I don't know what's going on. But then in book 2, I start writing it from both Kenna and Logan's perspective. And that was done very purposely because of what is actually happening through the arc of the story. So you get both of their perspectives. And then the story just kind of, I will admit, like, they're cliffhangers. So if you don't like cliffhangers, like, there are cliffhangers.
I love cliffhangers.
Good. And I think you also like, so like my characters generally, my female characters generally come from like a really rough background. So like I said, Kenna's family was all dead, like they're all killed off. And she's by herself. She has no family. Her family abandoned her. And then my second book series that I have out is a wolf shifter series called Shadow's Moon. This one is about a young girl whose family basically, that her dad is touted as being a traitor, and he's killed by the alpha of the pack, and they turn around and kill the mom, and
Oh, wow.
she's kept in the group only to basically be a slave in the group, and the Luna in the group, the female of the group, is just awful to her. And there's a situation that occurs between their son and his best friend and the main character for the female that she ends up leaving, and they decide that they want to bring her back. So that's what that one is about. That's the cover for that one. So that one's Shadow's Moon.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of that. I like Rejected Mates. I like
Yes.
I just like the angst and the drama. I like the emotional turmoil. I like to get mad.
Right.
Like I'm mad on behalf of the FMC. So then like later when the vengeance happened, I'm like,
yes. And that's what happens. So she gets out to this other, like when she leaves her pack, like she goes to this other city and she meets her mate, and her mate wants nothing to do with her, like just does not want to mate, wants nothing to do with her. So you have that. So that book is actually more of a slow burn, but by the time you get to book 4, like it is like 5 stars or 5 spice, like it's just crazy, like the amount of spice that I put into it. So but it does start very, very
so graphic. So not just the amount of spice, but like graphic spice, or
oh
like,
yeah, like it's
okay.
very, very, very detailed in what they're doing and what's going on. And he's very her like the guys are very domineering in what they want, and
Okay.
so yeah, so
Cool.
she basically gets she makes up for what she doesn't get in book 1.
Okay, cool, awesome.
And then the last series that I'm writing, and actually this series is still coming out. So book 1 just released on January 27th. That's the book that I sent to you, and that is the Four Horsemen series. So this is Death in Quest. And what this book is about is basically at this point in time, like God has decided that it's time for humanity to be judged, and whether or not he wants to send his 4 horsemen. And so what he does is he sends death down to judge us. And when my FMC realizes what's going on and that humanity is losing, she makes him an offer, and he takes her up on the offer. And that's kind of how the book proceeds.
Wow, cool. Yeah, so I read a little bit of that. Like I know you sent it to me, and I feel bad. Like I try my best, right, to read as much as I can, but I'm only human. I can only read so much. So I did start reading that, and it sounded really interesting. And so it's like, so does it end up being a bit like the Four Horsemen? Like I'm trying to. I feel like I read somewhere.
So the 4 horsemen, you have pestilence, you have war, you have famine, and death. So death is one of the 4 horsemen, and he's one of the ones that's sent down. So the only difference is like with death, he isn't asleep like his other brothers. So they're sleeping and waiting basically for the seals to be broken to wake them up. Where he's awake, and he is basically doing his job as a reaper and bringing souls over, when he's told by the creator, like, it's time for you to go down and judge these people, and just tell me, like, what am I going to do? So that's kind of the concept of the book. And through a series of events, like obviously, like it doesn't work out in humanity's favor, because I got 5 books. So you're going to get book 2 is about pestilence, book 3 is going to be about war, and then book 4 is famine, and book 5 is death coming back. So
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. So are you, and I need to ask everybody this when we get back on like the panel, like who's KU, who's not KU, how people can find their books. I started thinking about all that as you were talking about who writes first person, who writes third person. That's all very important stuff to people who watch these.
Yeah.
Because it matters to them.
So all my books are written so far in first person perspective. So
cool.
Most of them do like flip back and forth between the male and the female man characters, with the exception of the very first book in the Ritual Nightmares, or the Scarred by Fate series. That one starts out with just Kenna, and that's the only perspective you get. But then after that, it's always flipping back and forth between the male and the female main characters, so you can kind of know what's going on with both of them and where they're coming from. And yes, I am on Kindle Unlimited, and actually, I just went on and set up a promotion for the first book in my completed series, so the Scarred by Fate series, that anybody who wants it can get a free book of book one. It starts tomorrow. So if you would like to read it, if you haven't read it and would like to try it, you can get it for free.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Awesome. Well, cool. And how can people get a hold of you? Like you Facebook group
Yeah.
or
So I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, TikTok. Those are where I'm most active at. I do have a Twitter account, but I don't do a lot on Twitter. So, but I'll do what the other authors did, and I'll just drop my link tree in so that if you would like to find me, you can find me.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, well, thank you. And I'm going to bring everybody on now. Okay. So inquiring minds want to know, what's the fragrance of your candle behind you?
That is, oh God, I don't know. It's called Spa Water.
Oh, she broke up.
It's Spa Water.
Spa water.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. All right, I'm going to bring everybody in. Here we go. Hi. That's like my go-to. Okay, so when you know who's in Kindle Unlimited, who writes, someone needs to turn their. You hear the echo? Someone's got their. Who's watching it on Facebook? Someone needs to close that.
Not me.
Echo. Okay, it's gone. Okay. All right. So for each of you, and we'll just go around. So I think Marcelle, you just answered that. Who's on KU? What person do you write? Or where can we find your books? If you know, or obviously Amazon, right? But we'll just kind of go around. So Marcelle, I think you just said that, right? You're KU. You write first person and do multiple point of views. Anywhere else for your books other than KU, Marcelle?
That's Inquest, the last book, or the first book in the last series that I'm writing. You can also get it on Barnes and Noble.
Okay,
but not
cool.
not the just the paperback version.
You guys hear that? That's not me. Where's the echo coming from? That's so weird because it wasn't happening before. Oh, Kat, that's so sweet. People are liking the panel. Everyone's saying they like it. Cool. All right, well, we'll just keep going. Actually, one more thing before we keep going, Marcelle. If you wanted one person, if you had to say one book of all of your books for someone to try to get your to get a feel about you as an author, which one would you recommend?
Probably I know they're all the last one. Death and Quest. Yes,
Death and Quest.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So Marcelle, check out Death and Quest to get a good idea for her stuff. Okay, Victoria, you're next.
Okay, I'm on Amazon, Kindle, KU, Audible. I write mostly in first person, but some things are in third. It just depends on what worked for what series. And trying to think. Multiple points of view. Most of them are single point of view, but I do have a couple of books where there's more than male, female point of view, or depending on who the couple is. So sometimes there's multiple points of view.
Okay, cool. And then if someone had to pick one book to try yours, what would you recommend?
I know everyone wants me to say The Binding is their favorite, but Lurid Lantern is my favorite.
Okay.
It is. Well, it's this book. This is my favorite.
Yay! All right, let's see the cover. Let's see the cover a little bit better. Victoria showed up. Just pause for a second. Pause. Okay, there you go. All right, cool. Awesome sauce. All right, JP, you know the questions. You know the drill.
I do. So pretty much all of my stuff is with indie publishers, and they won't do KU. I'm sorry. I know everybody wants KU.
That's okay. Yeah, no, it's okay.
But the short story that I'm dropping later in March, that will be, I'm going to start doing some self-publishing as well. So I'm going to put out all my stuff in KU, and that way people will get an opportunity to check that out. And I write, depending on the book series, some of it is from first person. So that Daemonian that you were looking at, that was in first person, and that has multiple points of view. And then my Magus Malefica series, The Witch Boys, that's third person, but also multiple points of view.
Okay. All right, cool. Awesome. So earlier we were talking about TikTok, and we said we would talk about it here as well. I've just noticed that it just does really well for authors. Like I think a lot of I've seen a lot of videos where people say that their sales actually directly correlate with some of their viral videos, on TikTok. Like Jasmine Mass with Psycho Shifters, her very first book hit bestseller because of TikTok. Like she did videos that just went viral, and then like as soon as her book hit, it just went. Because it was a great book. Psycho Shifters is fantastic. But yeah, but you're all on there, right? You just some are more active than others. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Awesome.
Get to
Well,
see
is
me
there
acting
anything
silly.
that we want to talk about that we didn't mention? Any I forgots in all this tonight?
No.
Do I need to sing?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Okay. How about questions from people that are watching? We've got some really cool comments on here. People are loving the covers. They think this is interesting. They think it's a good panel. People are saying that the books are good. They've read. You've got some fans on the comments, so that's pretty cool. If anyone has any questions, pop up a question for our guys here. So how long? So we've talked about you guys a little bit in the group. So Marcelle, you've been in the group since October 21.
21. Yep.
And Victoria, you've been in the group like since the onset.
Dawn of time, I think.
Dawn of time.
Yeah.
Okay. And then JP, newer, right? Newer in the group?
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
I tend, this may be bad, but I tend to focus a little bit more on groups that are more specifically queer-oriented.
That's okay. No, of course. Yeah, that makes sense. For sure.
So, but I mean, I pop in. As long as the posts are scrolling up on my feed, I'm usually commenting and interacting with as much as I can.
That's awesome. Okay, we've got a question for you, JP. Can you get your books on Amazon?
Yep, all of them.
Yeah. And one of what's the price? Because you said you're not KU, so what's your price ranges for your ebooks?
I would say they're between $4.99 to $8.99. And again, I know some of those are a little expensive, but I don't get a choice in dictating what the prices are. The publisher does all that. So hence my desire to do some self-publishing, because then I can drop stuff and do sales and whatnot. Otherwise, my hands are kind of tied.
Yeah, you actually just reminded me. We had a post the other day where someone was complaining about audiobooks and
they're so expensive.
And how narrators change on audiobooks.
I saw that post.
Yeah, we removed. I think we removed the post. I'm pretty sure we removed the post because it's so hard on authors, especially audiobooks. Like, do any of you have audiobooks out there?
That one's being produced right now.
Yeah.
And this one's out in audio.
Okay, so you have some, JP, and Victoria, did you say you do too? You have audiobooks or no?
I do. Yeah.
I
do.
On a lot of them, or all of them, or some of them?
Well, almost on all of them. I have approximately 2 left that haven't been recorded, and they're being recorded right now.
Wow. And how about you, Marcelle? Do you have any?
Yeah.
No. So I haven't put anything out on audio. So I'm still kind of new, like publishing. So I didn't even start writing again until April of 2021. So I've basically kicked out about 8 books since then. So
wow. Yeah, and so the thing is, like, guys, tell us, like, JP, Victoria, you've had obviously experience with audiobooks. Like this, it's not an easy thing. Like, audiobooks are not easy on authors, and if narrators have to change, or like tell us a little bit about. I guess JP, tell us a little bit about your experience, and then you too, Victoria.
Sure. So I had to go to my publisher and say I wanted to do audiobooks. I'm very interested in accessibility.
Nice.
I sign. No, I try. And the audiobooks allow for a greater audience and for people to experience my worlds beyond a written page. So it was important to me to get the audiobooks out there, but the publisher has to agree to it. Then you have to actually post for auditions, and you may or may not get any interest at all. Once you've got one narrator, they may not come back. So, and it all really depends on how well the books sell. Now, oddly enough, Magic or Die is out in audio, and I cannot believe how many have been purchased. I was shocked.
People love audiobooks. We
do.
get a lot of posts where people ask for audiobooks.
But in Canada, they're so expensive. They're like $25 for a download.
Wow.
So I'm like, wow, thank you.
Wow. Okay, someone says they have no problem paying Audible and Chirp. And they have chronic pain issues, so they can't read for hours. Not everyone can visualize.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then like a lot of my friends that read or listen to audiobooks, they just fit it in their day when they're so busy with their kids and they're running around, they're cleaning their house, so it just makes sense, for a lot of people. I listen to them only when I'm in the car driving. I don't because when I start multitasking, I stop listening. I'm too busy doing whatever it is I'm doing, so I listen to music. But yeah, that's when I. How about you, Victoria? How was your experience with it so far?
Okay, so in the beginning, it was. Well, I got a lot of migraines. I'll just say that it was kind of harrowing in the beginning. You put something out there, you get auditions. Sometimes you might get none. Sometimes you might get 30 and they're still not what you want. And then there's the whole figuring out whether you're going to pay them up front or you're going to do royalty share. There's all these things. Sometimes you'll be right in the middle of a project and you will find out you just can't work with that person or that person has an emergency happen or there's all these extenuating factors that just can happen. Totally out of your control. And then what happened to me, I stumbled upon this perfect narrator who we have a great working relationship. Once I found this one narrator, that narrator narrates all my books. They're just so good. They're so good. The listeners like them. I had a lot of people come to me like you saying they don't get time to read books. They only are able to either listen to it in their car or if they're typing at work or something. And that's it. And they love books, but that's their only opportunity so I wanted to do that. I wanted to get all my books. It was a process though, but now it's much better. Now I know I've done it a lot, 15 times now. So now it's very streamlined, easy process.
Yeah, cool. That's cool. I've got one of my good friends is getting into being a narrator. She's getting into that whole thing. So it's really cool to hear about her experience going through that. We do have a lot of love in the group for it, for sure. Sorry? I didn't hear you, Victoria. What did you say?
I said it's a gift being a narrator.
Oh, yeah.
I said it's yeah.
And so we try like there was that post the other day where people were kind of we just remove any posts or comments where anyone's hard on authors, full stop. We're just like so many authors have full-time jobs, like they're not all three of you, right? We said that earlier. You all have full-time jobs, so Marcelle, you said I'm trying to remember, you work like 16-hour days or something crazy?
Yeah. So I work like 10 to 12-hour days for my day job. And then like I work like another 4 or 5 hours a day on my books at night. So yeah, it's like 16, 17-hour days.
Yeah. I mean, that's and Victoria, you work in a courthouse, you were saying, right? Earlier, or like with a judge?
Yes, I work for a judge.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just love your accent.
That's an all-time 24/7.
I just love it. It's great. Yeah, and then JP, you are in software for like healthcare.
Yep.
You're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
directly supporting physicians on the front line.
Yeah. Yeah. See, so guys, anyone watching this, like, be nice on authors. There's not a lot of authors. Well, okay, maybe there are a lot of authors that are full-time authors, but there's a lot of authors that aren't full-time. You know, they're busy with other jobs, and they're just like, you know, these things are out of control. So, like, let's be nice. Come on.
We do the writing out of love.
Yeah, or like cover photos. You know, we'll get posts where someone's like making fun of a cover photo, and it's like, come on, you know, like, you know, that's not an easy experience either, getting cover, you know, photos for your books, right? Yeah.
No,
No?
I actually designed my own. So I'd be heartbroken if someone tore apart one of my covers.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, and then like, you know, and then they're not cheap, right? Like when you buy them, like the ones that are, yeah. Like how much does it, like, if you go, I don't know, I think it's like $500. Is that, no? Like to buy a cover? Okay.
It can be, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you know, so it's like not everybody, you know, and really it's that old, sorry? What did you say, Victoria?
I said I have a person.
Oh, you've got a person. Yeah, you got someone.
I think as authors, we kind of seek out people who work well within what our brand is.
Yeah.
And, you know, you end up trying to make deals. I know that for the stuff that I'm writing on self-publishing, it can be pricey to get a really good cover that grabs your attention. But like this one here, I had to fight the publisher in order to get this.
That's what I was about to say too. The publisher has a big say. Like
they have all the say, and they said, "Here's your cover," and I'm like, "No, we're not. No, we're not doing that. We can't do that." But then I had to justify why.
Yeah.
So again, sometimes it's just completely out of our hands. We do the words, but the rest of it is not always up to us.
Because really, I mean, the publishers are pushing a brand for the genre, you know, so like people will say, oh, why are all the paranormal romances like bare-chested men or like women, you know, they're like couples and stuff? Because that's the brand. That's what we do, you know, like that gets the message across that, hey, you're going to read a book that's going to be maybe steamy, you know, or like urban fantasies, right? It's like the action woman on the front, you know, or romance fantasies or fantasy romances, however you want to say it. People say it differently. You know,
and
like
some of the publishing houses want their book covers to look branded for the house as well.
Yeah.
So you have to work within what they're willing to sell.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, so moral story, be nice to authors. They do their best, you know.
We just want hugs.
Yeah, and they want, you know, if you like the book, please give a nice review. You know, please give a good review. If you don't like the book, I don't know, maybe don't leave a review. Just maybe. No, I know people have different feelings on that. I personally do not leave anything less than 4 stars. If it's less than 4 stars, I don't do a review. That's me personally. That's my opinion, you know, but I don't know. And there's a star system out there for a reason. So people will argue that you should use it, you know, but for me, that's me. So anyways, but okay, well, this has been really fun, you guys. Is there anything else that we didn't miss or that we did miss? I'm sorry, that you guys wanted to say or talk about? No? Good. Yay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. Thank you everybody for watching. Kat Gifford, she's been firing it up on the chat, man. I bet you Amy's been on here too. Yep, Amy Reynolds, one of the mods. So that's pretty awesome. All right, you guys. Well, thanks so much. We really appreciate it. And I'll see you around in the group, right?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, bye. Bye, everybody.